Today's adventure takes place on the same premises that these sloths are residing on. They're not moving, they're standing very still. Maybe they're paying attention to those crows. Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here. Behind me are the Los Angeles tar pits, one of many on site. I've been here before, probably about 6 months ago or so, but the museum has a new exhibit, a brand new attraction, if you will, that I want to check out. It just opened. I'm inviting you to join me. Shall you? Something I never noticed before, an observation pit behind that wall. Wonder what's down in there. Now I've heard of normal gumbo, usually pretty tasty, but fossil gumbo? I don't know, if you went down there with a fork, knife, and spoon, it might not be the greatest delicacy to chow down on. There's all kind of skulls and body parts wedged down in that chunk. It says here it wasn't only the mastodons that got stuck, but also their predators decide to grab a meal, and as they got closer, their feet would get stuck in that gooey tar, and then they would end up in the same demise as what they were trying to attack. You'll notice on the left some tusks protruding out of that skull, but on the right it looks like a huge fish head. It's not what I think it's supposed to be, but it looks like the fish mouth is open, and then huge bug eyes of sort right there. Caught it off guard. Check it out, bubbling up from below the surface. One big bubble and a couple small ones above it. It could almost be a hidden Mickey if the one on the far right, if that ear would grow just a tad bit. Okay, here's another one, center of the screen. Do you notice it? Right smack in the center of the screen. Legit. Hidden Mickey. Oh, look at the bubble to the left of it. It's like gurgling up from the soil. Bowels of the soil. It's a good thing they have this identification chart with numbers. So you pick a number, like let's say what I thought was a fish head. In reality, number 8 is a ground sloth pelvis. Okay. If you've ever wondered what a saber-toothed cat skull looked like decomposed, focus your eyes right to the center of the screen. That is one. Speaking of dinosaurs, look at this vehicle. That is an antique if ever I saw one. It's a true relic. Very thankful they have these fences up. You know, if you're a tourist or a visitor, you would never know that underneath all those fallen leaves, it's basically a death trap of sorts, alerting the location spelled out here on the side of this cone. And if you don't think it really is, rest assured, trust me, don't take my word for it. Sticky down there. Yes, holy cow, there's another one that says gooey. Watch out, butterfly. There was like a butterfly in the shot. That was like the danger zone. The butterfly went to the danger zone. Why such the long face? You having a bad day? Every time I come out here, you still haven't cheered up yet. Be all right. I hope it'll be all right. Maybe? See the museum I'm heading to up there on the top of the hill. You'll also notice a lady showing her puppy the tar. Seems very interested. And they also have these banners of the new exhibit that I'll be checking out. Mammoths and Mastodons. Is a well-concealed hidden area. Wonder what's back there. It's a secret. General layout of the entire area. See, it's pretty expansive, starting way over here which is where I began at the observation pit. And you go past pit 13, 23, 9, 91, 34, 61, 67. This little garden here, the hardy Ice Age survivors, up to the first fossil found right inside of here, right behind this fence. You can clearly see some spider webs or some cobwebs formulating there under the ear of Alan here. Alan Hancock, as stated right here on this placard, as I do with Abraham Lincoln and with Mr. Hitchcock. He would be proud. It is a tradition of sorts, if you visit Lincoln's tomb in Illinois, to rub his nose. And I've just kind of started doing that with every bust statue I see. It's just kind of a thing. It's fascinating to just stand here and watch. Whoa! That was a big bubble. Right there in the middle. And there's another one, or a couple of them, formulating. Wow. Doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to where they pop up. Very interesting. I guess that little elephant has tried to get in too many times. It's now tied up with a ratchet strap against that tree. Last thing we need is him falling down in that gurgling area. And yes, that's an actual thoroughfare driving by. Traffic just going to and fro, paying no attention to what's happening just a few feet beside them. According to the sign they have off to the left, they know the sculpture of the young mammoth is tipping over and are working quickly to fix it. Now that answers my question on why it's strapped up to the tree. They don't want it falling over. Now reach the point where I'm heading in to Mammoths and Mastodons. Dun, 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 dun. This tree has been written on, not with paint, but with the tar itself. You can see all along its branches. People have taken sticks, dipped it into the pit, and then walked over and wrote little mementos, names, dates, and an assortment of other things all along its limbs. This symbolizes before coffee and after caffeine. Kind of soothes the soul just a bit, just a tad. Everything's a lot more peaceful and more comfortable in life. I always like new exhibits. Pretty excited about this, just to see what's inside. I've stayed spoiler free. I don't know what to expect. Noticing the first item, a portal to the Ice Age in the heart of Los Angeles. This exhibit was originally created by the Field Museum in Chicago and it has now been moved here. For a limited time, you can explore how these titans and their relatives evolved, adapted, and survived in a changing world. Very impressive, the size of this thing. Holy goodness, that thing. That's incredible. Just the height and width. Pretty mind-blowing. The tusks themselves could do some serious damage. And then the teeth. The teeth are about the size of, that row of teeth is about the size of the length of my arm. Definitely a pretty good sized bite. I recall seeing this American bison before in a different location at the museum. They've kind of shifted things around for the new exhibits. Notice how there are wires, steel wires holding up the bones and the torso, just to give the perspective of what it would look like if it was still alive. This miniature shows the hunting and the processing. You have to look very closely, but you can see them there in the grass towards the bottom. Certainly not wasting any time, letting any of it go to waste. Wow, they're just like all over it. Watch your fingers. This is reminiscent of hungry, hungry hippos. You're supposed to have a partner, but even by yourself, you can still have a lot of fun clanking their tusks together. I don't know how you choose who the winner is, though. You just keep doing this till someone gets irritated? This might be taller than the original skeleton I showed when I first walked in. This is the Colombian mammoth. Yeah, imagine meeting that in the wild. Maybe no challenge.
You'll see our wall of dire wolves. There are 404 on display. However, we have found another 4,200 in the archives,
Really?
making the dire wolf the most abundant of the carnivorous animals that have been found here to date.
So as of now, you have 400 species on site.
We have 404 on display.
On display.
And another 4,200 in the archives.
Very interesting. And it's called a dire wolf.
This is called the dire wolf.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you for showing me that. It's time now for the dung challenge. Can you guess which animal left behind these samples? Now, I don't want to touch and feel each of them, so I think I'm going to go with the middle one. Let me just nestle my fingers there. Okay, I'm going to grab onto this nugget of... Yes, so this is the giant ground sloth's poop. Can you lift an appetizer? Looking very hungry there. This bale of hay kind of gives you the example on what the weight class would be for a snack. Oh my gosh, that's much heavier than I expected. All right, here's the wall of dire wolf skulls he was referring to. Yeah, I would say there's probably 400 plus in there. To give an example on a timeline, here is the dire wolf skeleton, and then as I pan this way past the murals, there is what a dire wolf looked like in the flesh. You know, with hair and skin and the whole 9 yards. It would be horrifying to run into this creature in the woodland areas. Their beady eyes or yellow eyes. And they're very hungry. This one got its tongue out. Give a little nibble. Here's an artistic rendering of the property. See, there's the big tar pit down below, and then the entry platform into where I'm now standing, right there in the center. Right down in there. Some studying and work taking place in this section behind the glass. Check these out. There's some little paper products that they have contorted into the animals themselves. Look at the tusks and the fangs and those paper creatures there. Very creative. Just taking the very small paintbrush of sorts and shifting those rocks around. Trying to find something of significance. I do not know exactly what's taking place, but you never know what's going to be discovered here underneath that microscope. These pieces come from the most complete Colombian skeleton ever found here at the La Brea tar pits. You might see researchers cleaning and analyzing the rest of the bones nearby in the fossil lab. That's what I was just looking into. This tusk belonged to Zed, was the name he was given. There is some foam around it to protect it, and it's on a hydraulic lift so they can lower it and shift it at their disposal to do work on it. Right there in the fossil lab. That'd be a pretty cool job. It is highly encouraged to touch. Stated that you can reach out and grab the giant Ice Age bear's noggin, kind of feel it. If you're wondering how tall this guy was, take a look. Oh my goodness, looming over. He's big. One of my favorite things here, glad they haven't gotten rid of it, is this saber tooth playfully wrestling with his buddy. Used to be an animatronic that growled and moved around, but I think that that is no longer quite operational. But nonetheless, it's still here on site, and what a sight that is. I love it. Are you tired? You yawning over here? Are you bored? I know you've been up here on this rock ledge a while, but gosh, close your mouth. If you start yawning, I'm gonna yawn. It's contagious. I really like what they've done with the place recently. All these new items. A lot more photo ops than there once were. And even little areas that you can climb through. They're made that way on purpose, and then when you loop around from the front. That's a tight squeeze. Using the lever, grow its tusks. Whoa, I think I just failed. I think his tusk went the opposite. Yep, it was a fail. Look at this, my trunk is moving. That's so cool. A mummified version. Oh my goodness, look at the name. It's a Woo. It's a Woo Lee. Never mind, it's a replica. It's not a real mummy. It's just a replica. The Proboscidean family tree shown with this graph, and also these little miniatures down below. But why look at miniatures when we can look at something on a much grander, bigger scale? Referring to these wall mountings, obviously, and this. This is probably about 10 feet long, 4 feet high, and it gives the approximate date stamp of how long ago they lived. If these things start singing and dancing, I don't know if I would enjoy it or be horrified. I might enjoy it for a little bit, and then the mood might change. The detail is amazing. It's staring at me. What are you staring at? Cat's got his tongue. Oh, I didn't think you could touch these, but they want you to reach out and pet them. It's a nice little outdoor area, a little veranda on the bottom level. You can go up top and look down, but I am on the ground level at the moment looking upward. The sun is beaming through. Hold tight, little buddy. Hold tight. It'll be okay. In the end, you'll be victorious. Some more riding on foliage. Oh, that's not tar. Someone broke the rules and used a non-tar substance. Dang, from this angle you can really see how scared he is. It's like, help me! Help me! That's gonna do it for today. If you're new here, please subscribe. By doing so helps keep you in the loop, up to date on future uploads here on this channel. Take it a step further, ring that notification bell, and if you enjoyed this particular episode, give it a big thumbs up. And I encourage you, if you have not been to the Brea tar pits in Los Angeles, California recently, come check out the changes, the nuances, and the exhibit that has now reared its head. You won't be disappointed. I'll see you in the next video. The vlog is over. I didn't realize you've been chewing on the tar. You've been eating the tar? Huh.